Hello Johnson & Johnson and hello world. I'm Robert Schmidt and I want to thank you both for watching and for putting up with the production problems that COVID-19 presents. Now, as I ask for your help, I want to assure you, I have irrefutable documentation, much of which you have not yet seen, that shows it was Johnson & Johnson WorkSense operational manager John Evers who led the charge behind my wrongful termination. That doesn't normally happen, and he did so based exclusively on nothing other than the false, baseless accusations of female co-worker Melanie Sweden, who, in a signed declaration I'm about to show you, brought up work 4 times. Johnson & Johnson work 4 times. As I ask for your help, Johnson & Johnson, please rest assured, I have exhausted all other avenues. I went as high as the CEO of Kelly Services. I've applied for positions through your own careers website and throughout Los Angeles. So here is a signed declaration of female co-worker Melanie Sweden. The declaration of Melanie Sweden signed July 5th, 2019. Line 12. Mr. Schmidt and I did not get along at work, and his negative behavior towards me had been escalating at work. I felt that he was verbally abusive and in my personal space. I felt that he was frequently yelling at me at work and was very aggressive. I would try to avoid him at work, but sometimes my assignments would require that I work on a line near him. And signed by Melanie Sweden. Melanie claimed in her signed declaration that she was not properly served. Declaration of Melanie Sweden dated July 5th, 2019. I request that the court dismiss any claims against me, or, in the alternative, if the court cannot dismiss the claims, that the hearing in this case be postponed until I am properly served and given the opportunity to respond to the complaint. The signature of Melanie Sweden. But, as you can clearly see, I have proof of service. As you can clearly see, Melanie Sweden is a person served. Let's go down. Signed on this page by Deputy T. Brown. We're going to go one more page. Also, again, signed by Deputy LA County Sheriff T. Brown. Come on, Melanie, what's wrong with it? It's a Johnson & Johnson and the world. Now that you've seen it for yourself, who do you believe? Who do you trust? Melanie Sweden or the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department? Now, let's back to work, which Melanie brought up 4 times in her signed declaration. That's you, Johnson & Johnson. Not only do you own that Neutrogena factory, but the majority of the line operators, our immediate supervisors, are Johnson & Johnson employees, as are the 2 lead operators, who I know well and I trust, one of whom's a female, and I will come back to that in a second. Melanie Sweden conveniently omitted the fact that we were required for safety reasons to wear earplugs. She complained that I yelled at her, but the earplugs are nowhere to be found in her signed declaration. Melanie Sweden is trying to deceive people, because when you're required to wear earplugs, you have to yell at each other in order to be heard. Melanie Sweden yells at everybody because she has no choice, because of the earplugs. She omitted that. The 2 lead operators, I know them well and I trust them completely, one of whom is a female. There is no way that they would have tolerated this kind of behavior for me or anyone else for that matter. And frankly, they didn't say anything to me because Melanie Sweden is making this up. Now, I've asked John Evers and Kelly Services to please talk to the lead operators, ask them what they thought of my conduct with regard to this matter, but they refused to do so, because the only thing that Johnson & Johnson WorkSense operational manager John Evers and Kelly Services care about is the following false, baseless accusation that Melanie Sweden made in her signed declaration regarding a non-event that happened not only off-company property, but long after we had clocked out for the day. The declaration of Melanie Sweden dated July 5th, 2019. Line 10, Mr. Schmidt's tone and demeanor were intimidating, and he appeared agitated. He was shouting at me, and I felt that he was, quote, in my face, end quote. I was frightened by his behavior and the force with which he spoke to me. 15. So when he began shouting at me outside of work, I felt like it crossed a line. I was freaking out. I was not sure whether he would become violent or come after me. I was pretty scared. I have been told that in his complaint, Mr. Schmidt accuses me of complaining to Human Resources that I felt he was threatening me. I did report this unacceptable behavior to Human Resources, contacted Kelly. I was afraid for my safety and reported as soon as I could. "19. It was a true statement. I did and do believe that I felt threatened and afraid as a result of Mr. Schmidt's aggressive behavior. 20. I requested the court dismiss any claims against me, or if the court cannot dismiss the claims, be postponed, because she's claiming until I am properly served and given an opportunity to respond to the complaint." She was served. The signature of Melanie Sweeten. This is an act of fraud. It's fiction. It never happened. Melanie Sweeten is lying. And the worst part about it is I'm convinced that both John Evers and Kelly Services know that Melanie Sweeten's lying, and for reasons which I will never understand, they don't seem to care. There was actually a witness present, a long-time Kelly Services employee, somebody they know well and should have no trouble trusting. But I was able to confirm through their attorney, Shireen Wetmore, that they refused to talk to this person. I would also submit to Johnson & Johnson. I have told Kelly Services that I will submit to a polygraph test numerous times. So far, they have ignored this offer. So I would submit to you, Johnson & Johnson, that I will be happy to take a polygraph test so that you will know that I am telling the truth. I would also encourage Melanie Sweeten to submit to a polygraph test, but that's a separate issue that I cannot control. I would also ask that if anybody has video of this event, I would love to see it, because it would be irrefutable proof that, in fact, I didn't do this. Melanie is lying. For reasons which I cannot explain, all that John Evers and Kelly Services care about are the false, baseless accusations that Melanie Sweeten has made. So 3 days after this alleged non-event, I received the following emails from Johnson & Johnson WorkSense Operational Manager John Evers. First, this email dated Friday, April 5th, 2019 at 7 a.m. Hello, Robert. Can you call me when you are able? Thanks, John. John Evers, WorkSense Operational Manager. 862-235-5447. This email dated Friday, April the 5th, 2019 at 11:10 a.m. Hello, Robert. I need to speak to you before you can be scheduled again. Please call me at 862-235-5447. Thanks. John Evers, WorkSense Operation. Something had made a complaint about something that happened at a bus stop. I asked John if I was going to get a chance to tell him my side of the story. He hesitated, and then he said, "Send me an email." 3 days later, this is the email response I received from Johnson & Johnson WorkSense Operational Manager John Evers. This email dated Monday, April the 8th, 2019 at 7:28 a.m. Thanks, Robert. I will contact you shortly. Thanks, John. John Evers, WorkSense Operations Manager. And then the next day I received this email from Johnson & Johnson WorkSense Operational Manager John Evers. This email dated Tuesday, April 9th, 2019 at 12:29 p.m. Hi, Robert. I will be setting up a meeting between you, Brooke, and myself in 1 hour, 1:30 your time. The call-in number will be in the email. John Evers, WorkSense Operational Manager, Johnson & Johnson. I also received the following emails from Kelly Services Human Resources Advisor, Brooke Giuliano. This email dated April 9th, 2019 at 1:54. Hi, Robert. John and I are trying to reach out to you, and we are not having any luck. Please advise us as soon as possible. Thank you. Regards, Brooke Giuliano, Human Resources Advisor. And again, Tuesday, April 9th, 2019, this time at 3:21 p.m. Hi, Robert. We provided a Skype call-in number. This does not need to be via video. This is just the best way to conference call. Thanks. Regards, Brooke Giuliano, Human Resources Advisor. The Skype conference call was pretty basic. Brooke Giuliano just told me what a terrible person I'd been. She refused to listen to anything I said. She refused to answer any questions that I had. John Evers simply hung up the phone, all based on nothing more than the false, baseless accusations of Melanie Sweeten. They still are withholding 32 hours of unused sick pay that I had earned, even though it's company policy to pay out because they hate my guts. Brooke eventually furnished the following letter, but she refused to include the word terminated because she did not want me to collect benefits. see for yourself. This letter from Kelly Services, dated April 30th, 2019, to whom it may concern. This letter is to verify that Robert Schmidt was employed by Kelly Services, Inc. from 5/8/2017 to 4/9/2019. He was employed at our customer Johnson & Johnson Neutrogena as a manufacturing packer. Sincerely, Brooke Giuliano, HR Advisor, Corporate Human Resources, Kelly Services, Incorporated. Just to assure you, Johnson & Johnson, that I have exhausted all possible remedies through Kelly Services before turning to you for help. The following is a mailer demon from the Chief Executive Officer of Kelly Services, Peter Quigley. As this mailer demon from Kelly Services CEO Peter Quigley, dated Sunday, February 23rd, 2020 at 4:50 p.m. clearly shows. Not only have I applied for a position through Johnson & Johnson's careers website, but as the following two emails clearly show, I completed 2 digital interviews for positions at the LAX Neutrogena factory. This email from Johnson & Johnson Talent Acquisition, dated Saturday, May 25th, 2019 at 2:14 p.m. Hi, Robert. Thank you for taking the time to complete your digital interview for the Sanitec One job. We appreciate your interest in Johnson & Johnson and look forward to reviewing your submission. This email from Johnson & Johnson Talent Acquisitions, dated Tuesday, June 27th, 2019 at 8:41 p.m. Hi, Robert. Thank you for taking the time to complete your digital interview for the pre-weight operator job. We appreciate your interest in Johnson & Johnson and look forward to reviewing your submission. And yes, Johnson & Johnson, I did apply for positions elsewhere, so I have exhausted all remedies through Kelly Services. I've applied for positions through Johnson & Johnson's careers website, and I looked for jobs elsewhere. I'm out of options. I need your help, and please, feel free to talk to the line operators, the lead operators as well, our immediate supervisors at your LAX Neutrogena factory. Ask them what they thought of my conduct. Ask them if they want me to return, because when I was there, they made it clear they wanted me on a more permanent basis. Betty, line operator for line 14, kept encouraging me to apply for positions within Johnson & Johnson because sometimes they did hire us on a permanent basis, and I wish I had listened to her. And feel free to conduct your own investigation as to my conduct towards Melanie Sweden. Who's telling the truth? I've got nothing to hide. I am going to do a follow-up video that's going to focus more attention on the actual individual conduct of the Kelly Services executives. But for now, I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend, and if you have any questions for me whatsoever, please contact me. Share your thoughts with me in the YouTube message center, and may God be with you all.